The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com.
Megan, you're dealing with some emotional repression in a romantic relationship?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me what's going on.
Basically, over the last couple years before my relationship started, I was aware that I was kind of emotionally repressed and that I had been for several years, and so I was making a conscious effort to overcome this. And for the past 7 months, I've been in a relationship, and I found at times that even when we have very minor disagreements, I tend to very much blow it out of proportion, and
Okay.
I tend to read far more into it than is there.
Yeah.
And I obsess to the point where we have a minor disagreement, and then I can't function until I have it resolved in my mind. You know, I'm a full-time student. I also have 2 jobs, so it's like I can't, you know what I mean? And it really puts a stopgap on me. And also, I want this to impact my partner as little as possible. And obviously, it's going to impact him, but you know, I don't want him to have to bear the consequences of my repression any more than he has to.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you've had a coping strategy for a very long time. I don't know whether it was from childhood or not, but of just holding things in. And when you hold things in and you don't give yourself permission to ask questions, which maybe in your family of origin you couldn't. I know that many people in their family of origin, you know, father knows best or mother knows best, and you shut up. You keep your trap shut. If you question anything, it's over. Many people repress because of that, and they develop what's called, and here's what's so important. This is a term from cognitive therapy, Megan, a coping strategy,
Okay.
which makes sense in the context of the original problem, dealing with parents or dealing with a sibling, or maybe I know I once in 5th grade had one of my good friends in the neighborhood, she lived on the same block as me, turn the whole schoolyard against me. And I had no idea what was happening. You don't think that I walked into the schoolyard feeling traumatized when people had to make a choice? They either talked to me or her, and they spoke with her. She was much more charismatic. And I developed repression. Didn't know, I couldn't make sense of the world. So my coping strategy was just to back off.
Right.
But that I'm on the air now, what does that tell you?
I'm sorry, repeat the question, please.
That I am now, and now that I now have a radio show and I can talk openly, what does that tell you? Is change possible?
Oh, absolutely.
It is
Obviously.
delicious. Not only is it possible, Megan, but as you give yourself the skills, don't make it a heavy burden on yourself of, oh my God, I've got this depression, how do I get out of it? Instead, learn one small skill at a time, and they're going to be communication skills, and you need to be able to challenge the idea in your mind that it's an unsafe territory to speak up. And if you've got a loving partner, you can work with him. You can say, you know, I'm fearful right now. I'm having some thoughts that you might be thinking negatively of me, and I want to run these by you because I think they're all hogwash, but I want you to put the hogwash stamp on them. Or if you don't want to share what you're thinking, you can ask him what's going through your mind right now. It would really help me maybe settle some demons from my past if you share with me what's going through your mind now. And he may say, I'm thinking you're sexy, and you say, oh my God, you're thinking I'm sexy. I thought you wanted to, you know, I thought you were interested in some other woman, and I was history. And you don't have to share that part with him necessarily, too, because you don't want to keep fanning the flames. So tell me, how can I best be of help to you? What specifically can I help you with?
Specifically, I think I'm looking for strategies and new coping strategies, because I am very much aware of how this arose and why.
Yeah.
And it's really just more effective techniques, because at this point I'm just kind of, you know, you're an expert, and I'm just kind of, you know, wallowing my way in the dark. And so particularly it's the obsession factor. I can definitely, we have excellent communication, and I did not grow up in a household, nor do I feel with my partner as if I'm not allowed to ask questions. And I definitely feel comfortable bringing stuff up, but it's when I get into this obsessive mode, it's actually difficult for me to think rationally. And I almost think it's because I've been repressing for so long that when I do experience one of these negative emotions, my recent strategy has been to let yourself feel it, whereas before I wouldn't. But I think because of that, it's almost like an overblown reaction, and I don't know how to deal with it. And so really it's about how to curb that obsession and not to not feel the emotion, but to kind of strategies to kind of help me get focused and reasoning with it.
So let me run with that. First, you're exactly right. Repression means you're repressing your ability to feel. You're giving yourself a command, don't feel. It hurts too much. So whether you're feeling loss or anger, you're talking about negative emotions, loss or anger or guilt or shame or frustration, you tell yourself, don't go there. And so you flatten out. Not only do you flatten out the negative emotions, but guess what else you flatten out?
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. I wish I knew more about what girls want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance, a serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. Huh. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
Not only do you flatten out the negative emotions, but guess what else you flatten out?
Yes, the positive.
The positive emotions, and you become like a flat line. And if you had a flat line with your heart rate, that's death.
Yes.
You don't want that. You want your heart to be pumping up and down and up and down. So It's not that you want your emotions to go up and down, but you do want them to flow. And when you will let yourself express your emotion, you need to do it privately first. And on paper is best if you have that ability, or if you're driving in the car, you can process your emotions. You can even have a little voice recorder if you want. But you don't leave it there. You don't assume that what your subconscious spits out as your emotion, I'm so angry, why did he do this to me again, blah, 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 blah. Or here I go again, I'm a failure because I can't have emotions. You might have an emotion about repressing itself, which you can just get into loops on, and you want to break that one. And you say, okay, so I've had a history of repressing. Be your own best friend. Treat yourself the way you would your best friend. Yes, of course you've had a little bit of repression going on, or a while of repression, and it's fun to just play with a moment of not repressing and just have some fun with it. And you say, what am I feeling? I'm feeling angry. If my anger could speak, what would it say? And then if you have the luxury of being at home and have the book Mind Over Mood by Christine Podetsky and Dennis Greenberger, it's on my website, drkenner.com. One of the most effective skills, you're looking for skills, is called a thought record, where you spill out your emotion, but in a very logical way. There are 7 columns to it, and you let the emotion rip. You let it say all the thoughts that are underlying that emotion, called the automatic thoughts, you let that happen. And then after that, you're able to shine the light of reason on it, and you stabilize your emotion, you recalibrate your emotion, and that is very helpful. So that's where I would begin, Megan, and I think that would pay off royally for you.
Okay, I'll definitely look into that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your call.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, and I wish you some joyous emotional moments. Many.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye, Megan.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by Drs. Kenner and Locke.
If you and your partner do not like exactly the same methods or techniques of intimacy, you can informally take turns doing the things each partner most prefers, so that each partner is assured of enjoying pleasure. Taking turns should be done with goodwill, not with resentment. Resentment results when you or your partner thinks my desires are important and good, but yours are trivial and stupid. And while it's benevolent and loving to fulfill your partner's desires, there may be certain techniques or acts that one partner strongly dislikes. In some cases, a loved one may learn to like something he or she did not like at first. But this is not true in all cases. If your partner strongly dislikes some activity, you need to fully respect your partner's right to say no.
Download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com, and you can buy the book at amazon.com.